My name is Paul. For those of you who do not know me, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Paul Chellakumar. I head an organization called Campus Abroad, which is a recruitment agency for the last 42 years. I also uh, I got involved with some of the associations in the country. I've been in India. I'm the president of the Association of Accredited Advisors on American Education, and I'm the patron of Association of Accredited Advisors on Overseas Education. For the last 2-3 months, I've been getting calls uh, from parents, students, media, including the parents who are not known to me, or students who are not our students, and they are all in a dilemma whether they'll be able to go for the September session, or what is going to be the situation of this COVID. I thought I will take this opportunity, take little time to address, those who are involved in this, like students, parents, and also universities, as well as some of the agencies like BFS, travel, and I could also explain to you some of the countries, the status in terms of academic side. So let me start with the students first. I know they have been working hard for more than a year, maybe 8 to 10 months, in terms of preparing for their exam as well as applying, and a lot of things involved. And they would have been anxious, or they would have been thinking about it maybe for the last 5-6 years, or 3 years, 4 years. So they should go and study abroad, and get different experience, different exposure. I know this is and even after having got their admission, the present situation is little unfortunate, but this is not going to be a permanent one. It's only a temporary one. But in this situation, I would like to uh, suggest, or give some recommendations, that the situation being not safe, or nothing is guaranteed, and I feel the students, whatever maybe, whether you got admission, whether you got confirmed your admission, or reserved your admission, or you paid your tuition fees, whatever the situation may be, you are waiting and then going after everything is settled, in the sense that the COVID situation will not affect you anything, because you're not going to lose anything. As a matter of fact, even for postgraduate students, you could go for a job or internship, so that you will be able to enjoy or utilize this experience in your studies, as well as your post-study work, or whatever may be. That is not going to let you down, but that's going to increase your profile, so that even for, not only for admission, even subsequently, that's going to help you a lot. I do agree that it may be little affected for those who got admission UG undergraduation, but they also can do some online course, and then transfer the credits. Transfer the credits means once they go there, next year, they could just meet the department and waive some of the subjects, or accept some credits and go, and they keep going. So this is what I feel, that even you might have taken the test course, that's not going to be invalid. You can say that even if it is expired, that thing, the authorities, the testing authorities, are willing to extend its validity, as well as you can, even if you want to do, you can do online test, because no physical test is now not taking place. And you are now, even let me look at the students who went last year. I would like to talk about them, or take example of them and tell you. So because those who have gone last year, either last January or last September, I mean 2019 September, 2020 January, or they are not attending classes, remember that. They are attending classes online or sometimes blended, but that is the situation going to be for you. So you don't need to be hurrying for everything to go. You should go this year and that. There are some I know well, especially in South India, that for girls. They may think the girls should go abroad and study and come back so that they can go for a job or get settled and then maybe get married. That is the culture here, but still, and this situation is like, it's matter of life. And those who are already there, the international students in various countries, they've been facing a lot of challenges, and even for medical support. So that is being the situation. And my views are, your health or your life is more important than the increasing or strengthening or upgrading your career profile or your academic profile. So, on the whole, I request the students be patient and make sure the situation becomes all right. Because I see, when you go and meet different challenges other than academic challenges, there are high possibilities you will be losing your academic strength or academic grades. That's not good, and sometimes if you don't get through your exams, that's going to be very cost effective. So I sincerely request students, I think you're not going to lose much if you wait and go maybe in 2021. Then let me now address the parents. More than the students, parents have been thinking, because uh, sending the children abroad is quite common. They say it's a social prestige, but I don't want this social prestige should not become a personal tragedy. It's like, probably, it's obvious, it's very common. Every parents will think that they should become big and they should get into one of the top schools in the world, and they will come out well, and my son is so and so, my daughter is so and so. That type of claim they would like to have. And there are high possibilities your child would influence you now. No, no, don't worry, everything is fine. My senior said, my friend said, everything is fine there. We can go there. Don't believe media, all this stuff. Because the students to students, whatever the information they get, that will be, I call it off baked. So I strongly recommend you not to yield to such off-baked information from your children, and take any decision either against that are favorable to their mind, because taking 1 year time will not going to harm anyone, but taking the risk will certainly disturb you as well as your children. And whoever goes this year, they will definitely, because once they go, that you cannot be peaceful here, and they will be having more challenges then in addition to the academic challenges. So I don't recommend you are encouraging your children to go abroad this year, especially, and the September session, because I think only September sessions are open, so it is very advisable. And then accommodation is also going to be a problem, and there are chances of virus spreading in accommodations are high. And in addition to that, those who do not get on-campus accommodation, they will be forced to take up whatever available, and we don't know what sort of accommodation it is. So why do we want to have all type of these challenges? As a matter of fact, the challenges begin at the time of departure itself. It's not going to be that easy, because the flight charges is going to be very expensive, and getting ticketing is going to be a problem. And in addition to all these things, it is not worth losing our peace and happiness by sending your children abroad, by staying here. Especially mothers will never be peaceful with all the situation, whatever the news they hear, either from CNN or BBC. They will be always referring them to the children, and they will be worried. So and again, if anything goes wrong, that's going to be a very very expensive one. And also, if they are disturbed, if your children's study is disturbed, then again they are not going to pass. They need to pass the exams and come through that. That is the purpose. So one has to be very careful with that. So I just I would like to request the parents also not to encourage their children to go this year within this amidst of all this challenging and dreadful and terrible situation. And now I will let it come to my colleagues. They call it agents or consultant, and yes, I would like to address them also. As I told you, I've been in the industry for the last 42 years. There cannot be even a single complaint about our service or recommendation or counseling from any one of the students in terms of our recommendations. But we've been facing since early this year the pressure of our responsibilities. So I've been telling my own students, our own students, please wait, don't go. Some of the students are really under pressure for various reasons, maybe friends from there or from relatives or whatever the maybe the reason. They are desperate to go. And there are high possibilities. See, the India is I think there may be approximately around 60,000 agents or consultants, but if you look at closely, out of the 60,000, maybe only maybe 30 to 40% are genuine. Others have links or connections with the other agents, so they also do that. And so that your counseling or recommendation should not be biased. So our professional ethics also demand justification in what we do, and I request every one of you, my colleagues, my friends, be careful with your recommendation. And I'm aware that our economical situation in the industry is not good. So, but if you think that that is very important, then it's going, you, one of your students or your profession will certainly be affected. Because I request very kindly, suggest to your students to go next intake or next year. And your students, you won't lose, definitely you won't lose your student, because when the relationship, the comfort level between you and your students are in a very good order, they won't go anywhere. I know that they have paid the deposits. Even then, this situation is not guaranteed that they are going to be safe there. See, you and I know well, normally the parents' question will be how safe is the country. This is going on for several years. The first questions from the parents will be, will he get scholarship? Will he get part-time job? Is it safe to send him? But the question is now that all these three, scholarship is not available, part-time jobs are not certain now, so the guarantee, safety is also not guaranteed. Under these circumstances, I would recommend that you tell your students to just look at the situation, watch carefully, and go maybe the next semester or next year, so that every one of you will be happy. You will be happy, your students will be happy, your parents will be happy. Even these students are going to refer you many students. The pandemic situation is certainly is global, and we can't help it. Any country, you may send your student to any country, but every country has problem. So, and there is no guarantee that even this virus will be 100% eradicated by next year. But I think that at least they will be able to get some vaccine or remedy for the sickness, so that will be at least helpful, or we can be peaceful that. We can be. It's interesting, or it's easy to say that be optimist. Yeah, we are. We can be optimists, but not at this situation. We can be optimists that they can go next year. So and then I know the pressure you and I get from the universities who are also desperate. Universities, they have a lot of commitments and they need to meet their demand and they need to deliver. Even now that they've been thinking about online education. Instead of going there and sitting in a room and doing online, they can very well be here and go there. And if you think that probably your students good, you can recommend them to go for a job. I've been hearing a lot. We have been hearing a lot from the students whom we sent last year, and we also watch in television what is the situation there, how is it going to be, and the students who went last year, how they've been facing challenges. At some points, they even had problem for the food and shelter because some universities have sent them out, and I think some of the students have been arguing and demanding from the university for refund because they've been asked to do online course. Why all this inconvenience to every one of us and to the students? They are our students. We are responsible for the future. As like a patient goes to the doctor, they come to us with great confidence. So we need to justify a role. So we are not going to lose the students anyway. We don't need to just yield to the pressure of the universities. And everybody knows this in the service industry or consultants industry. We are paid. We get the benefit. We are paid the fees more than anything. So it's a wonderful trade. Let us not spoil the value of our profession. And I don't need to tell you about accommodation and non-availability of medical support and financial problems. All this could be easily avoided. Because suppose you have your daughter, I remember somebody from our industry sent the children out last year and they were really tensed. I know they shared their views in one of the our platforms saying that my daughter has safely arrived back, but we were in great tension. Similarly, my son got stuck up there, but still he was able to reach home on time. This type of thing. So we will have to consider our students like our own children and do that. So let us see that. Now, let me address the universities. I think comparatively, if we look at who is more desperate at this situation, none other than the universities. We can't blame them. We really cannot blame them because their commitments are more. They need to deliver a lot of things. They have staff. They need money. Because they don't have the annual receipts will help them to meet their regular and the expenses. They don't have big resources to take from that, and most of the universities are not supported by government funding. So the situation, it's not bad, but at the same time it should not be against the lives of the students, because students are their customers. Students are our customers for consultants. Similarly, students are the customers. We will have to value the customers' relations and help them accordingly, thinking it's going to go for a long run and it will give us a very long mileage. So, see, I just appreciate Australia, and because it was they without consulting anything. I know it was in the news that they lost billions of dollars in terms of the revenue or a foreign exchange the year, but they just said no, they didn't take July intake. That was a wonderful gesture, considering the welfare of the students. Similarly, we have now the only the and also New Zealand in that aspect, and we have now for other countries, whether in Europe or in Canada or in US, the next intake will be September. We don't have much time, and now I just explained to you a little earlier when you addressed the consultants. Students already on the role of universities abroad, they've been facing challenges, and they've been asked to do online courses. And so these people, instead of inviting more and more problems, they will have to consider they will have to consider more about the students' welfare and their concern and their situation, and come to help them. See, those who have paid the fees, right, fine. They might have paid the fees for semester fee or the deposit. It's okay. That's not going to go anywhere. They can very well help them to stay there. So they in the US, so they've been offered the option of offering it online. What is the point of going all the way there and then sitting in the room and doing online? They can very well sit here and do that. But in the I think some of the university students asked for refund because they were offered the course by online. That is right. It's their right, because classroom fees are much different from online course. The online courses you can do credit by credit, so that is certainly it is their right. They are also right to claim the rights to cost a fee, but students, universities should consider at least 50% concession in online thing, or even in the blended one. And because the other advantage I think is, fortunately, the student teacher ratio for mostly for undergraduation will not be high like what we have in India, and but only for post graduations and MBA classes may be more than 100 or so, but smaller classes it's easy for them to offer blended courses, and that is in couple of batches. I was recently 2 days ago I was talking to somebody in Germany, and they said they are going to even start classes saying that alternative days and morning and evening, and if you look at the class strength, there will be around 8 to 10 students. So this type of thing is it's happening. And entrance exams also there. I'm surprised most of the universities, not some of the most of the universities have compromised in their admission criterias, and like the students are waived to take English language test, or compared to their earlier English, whether they have studied English medium or they have taken good high scores in plus 2 or school final, and consider. And my greatest surprise was some of the top schools exempted students from taking GMAT. And Harvard was the one introduced GMAT. Even the Harvard had exempted this year. To students could come without GMAT, and surprisingly Oxford is not also exempted. This proves the desperate situation of the universities. So probably this pressure or this situation should not force either the students or consultant or others. Okay, you need to convince the universities, or they need to meet the targets, and no, please don't do that. I'm surprised, really surprised. I've been waiting last 2-3 months. Some universities will come forward to introduce COVID-19 scholarship. None has done that. They should have done that. That's what I feel. And at least COVID-19 should encourage students to, not only for this year, I'm not for this year, but even for 2021, this type of scholarship will help students. They don't lose the numbers, they don't lose their student clients, they will definitely get it. But my surprise is they introduce in memory of so and so and the situation and so, but why not? It's a global issue. Nobody introduced COVID-19 scholarship. So this will definitely help their financial situation, and then that will encourage the students also to go to take little more chances to make at least this January or coming next September. And I know they are paying commissions to consultants and agents. I recommend the universities could very well negotiate with the agents, either on the percentage or paying that little later, because the relationship is going to be for a longer time. They've been maintaining the relationship for a longer time. Why not we help one another? whenever we go to them for help, they don't help us, I know, unless we give students. But at this time, if you go forward, if consultants go forward, or universities come to the consultant saying, okay, right, this is the situation, we will pay 50% this year, 50% next year, that's going to help. I'm talking about 2020 or not 2020, please. So that there are high possibilities. So, and the bottom line for everyone, either for consultants or the universities, and the survival is the issue now. So, and online courses, if you consider, definitely no university will lose students. Only thing is the fee. Just imagine students coming there and sitting in the room. They spend money for their accommodation, though they don't need spend for transportation, but they will be just sitting and attending the class on the online. Why should they do that? You tell them, so okay, you pay 50% fee and do online and stay there and come without losing time and money. So that is I strongly recommend. And even consultants who are suffering or who are making this, they can even go for a temporary loan. So because they are confident, they can be confident their fees will be, they can collect their fees. These students will definitely go next year. This is like in a deposit, they will get their money. Fine. So that is what I request. I suggest universities come forward with some encouraging and helping options in terms of money, as well as the deliveries, so that it will be helpful. I will talk about few countries, and probably people could know about it. So, I used to admire New Zealand for one reason. It used to be 0% for two reasons. I think everybody knows that, for corruption, and it used to be for pollutionless. It was 0% for corruption, 0% for pollution, but now, not now. It has come to a few percentage for obvious reasons. And this country and Australia are really good, and we appreciate that. And they have come forward to voluntarily, irrespective of the financial loss, to help the students, consider students very well. So that is fine. Now let us talk about Europe. See, that is the situation. If you look at closely, Europe, like France, Spain, Germany, it was on the higher side. Those affected, death rate, everywhere was affected. Now it's slowly coming down. It's a good sign. And it's soon, I'm sure there are good evidences. We expect that it is going to be risk free. And the situation in UK, it is not encouraging. And this Indian students, see, there, they already have what we saw in newspapers are not very encouraging, in the sense, even students running here and there for food. Sometime 2 months ago, they said they don't have shelter. They've been running around. COVID-19 brought everything to a halt. But see, the attention, if you look at earlier this year, the PSW was the greatest attraction. I think my memory is right, it was 2010 was the greatest period for those who have been involved in UK education. And universities, each and every universities have been getting hundreds of students. But when the PSW was called off, the numbers have come down to around 10-15% from the numbers they were getting. Now, the recent announcement on PSW have encouraged all Indian students to go there. So I'm sure, but for this situation, they would have definitely got, not only from India but other countries, at least 100,000 students this year. But situation is definitely different. So, and my question is, this situation is not 100% sure or not guaranteed that it is going, the host country will take care of the international students. The other issue what is the attraction there is the PSW. Just I've been wondering on if the PSW attracts, according to this PSW, if 100,000 students, international students go there and they are expected to give jobs to them, or probably they will say we don't commit job, but anyway if they don't get jobs, they lose the market. So 100,000 a year, so it has to be every year. I don't know how it's going to be. And Brexit is another issue there that is yet to be, a lot of things to be brought in order for Brexit. So this is the situation, and I'm not sure whether EU students are going to be international students. Then that is going to be an additional challenge. I was surprised recently. Uh, the Prime Minister's brother, Mr. Joe Johnson, he recommended recently to consider the PSW for 4 years. I don't know. I was surprised, shocked. How is it possible? 4 years. 4 years means automatically they will become the citizen. Now the immigration is also welcome. So people from outside that with skilled people and qualified people, UK studied, everybody could be eligible for immigration. So that is also there. And I think that Mr. Joe Johnson happens to be recently heading a recruitment agency. So whatever reason may be, and that is going to be a challenge. I am not sure they will be able to meet the numbers who go there with great expectation for PSW. Depending on PSW, more than that, and this COVID situation is yet to comparatively within Europe. If you see that, I think even recently said it is coming down, good sign and all. Even some of my friends said, but nothing is certain there. If you compare what was in Spain, what was in France, it's totally different in UK. That is the thing. I say I have been involved with UK education for nearly 30 years. So I'm not. I'm just trying to explore the chances as well as encourage students at this situation. Please don't take a chance for this year. And now I will cover USA. USA was already down because of governmental policies, visa and the other matters. The market was already down. In addition to that, COVID has come. 2019 itself, the numbers have come down because US used to be topping the list of attraction. They call it the land of opportunities. It was not so in 2018 to 19, and 19 it has happened, is COVID. Now it's going to be worst because the virus affected areas, virus affected people, and students under us there, a lot of complications. And this is the situation. And recently all the universities in cooperation with the government, they are trying to set right the thing and attract students. They've been trying. I'm sure 2020 they don't get any student, even for spring 21 they don't get, but they will definitely get for 2021 something. And I'm sure this is the only country which attracts or which considers students to give financial assistance, tuition waiver, teaching assistantship, graduate assistantship, out of state tuition waiver, and fellowships and all. Other countries, I don't say that other countries are not giving, other countries giving more for research only. I am sure this is only temporary for US. You people wait and then go. So once the situation becomes all right, you can all go and enjoy your academic endeavors. And I have to cover a couple of small countries like Philippines, or even some of the West Indies, or some of the European countries, the MBBS market. So they are not exempted from the COVID. So let us wait and see. Actually, I was told Philippines is a little better, but Asia, yes, now anything could happen anytime in the sense that this is so. I mean, we don't lose anything by waiting one more year and go. So, Canada. I like the system or policies of Canada, and they have been attracting students, not only students, even for skilled people for immigration since a long time. Canada used to be considered as an alternative. If see, if you look at what it was 25 years ago or even 20 years ago, those who do not get visas to US, they will consider to go to Canada. But for a long time they have been working on immigrations very cleverly. And very well, in a well organized way they work. They receive files, stop at one point, then complete their 50% of the pending, and then continue. So without any hassle, it's been going. Now they are topping the list of the attracted countries, and the other advantage for Indian students, they have an option, especially the 3-year graduates have the option to go to Canada to do PG diploma, then followed by post graduation in universities, or they get a chance of working there. So these are the countries what are involved, and these countries are also desperate at this situation. So we will have to be very clever and very careful. More than clever, we'll have to be careful in making our decision and do. And there are again, we are already in end of June, we are entering July, and for September we have limited time, and BFS is not open, and we have travel arrangements to be done. And one thing I'm sure, the visa will be a little easier this time. Those of you who are very particular in, or those of you who have strong doubts about getting your visa, you can be sure that doesn't mean you are going without documents, but consideration will be little more than the usual time. So see, these all could be. And accommodation is a big issue in the host country. Not only that, even if you get accommodation, there are possibilities of virus spreading over, and getting connected. You can't always maintain the social distance and do this. You can do that. Life is not going to be that easy to go there. So see, you see, if you look at last few days, or here at the global level, we are not able to send or celebrate or accept the births. Nothing. It's nothing. It's the people, I mean, the good ladies deliver babies. Not like huge thing, not like our cultural practice. They go. And marriages not taking place like how it used to be. India is very popular for marriages. It is not taking place like that. 50 people are allowed, I believe. I'm not sure at the national level, but some other places only 50 people. And death. Oh, see, yeah, the caliber or the role of a life of a person can be proved or seen what it was at the death, at his or her death, by seeing people. Now you are allowed only 20 people. Can you imagine at this situation? And I have seen people going out and coming out of the hospital dead, and they are not able to, the relatives are not able to reach, the children are not able to get. At this situation, let us be very reasonable in considering, see the, and we need to be peaceful, and we need to be happy in what we are doing or what we are taking. So my kind request, my, yeah, I could say that it's I plead every one of you. I addressed everybody now, every sectors, request you to reconsider or think twice, think properly, and make use of your decision, and saying that you go without taking risk, and you can comfortably go next year. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Right, fine. Thank you.